should let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Monday. I want to love you. Okay. Happy Monday. Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated way. I'm Linda. That is Abby. Live chat is already popping. What
Yes.
Daisy and Silver Linings and everyone else that's in the live chat. That's what I can see right now. We are covering 90 Day Fiance the other way, season 7, episode 17 on Garde. Oh, what? Oh, I just totally karate chopped my notes. Yeah, okay. That was too much excitement for me. Okay. Hi, Abby.
Hi. I need you to explain some interactions that happened on this episode to me.
100%. 100%. So let's just get started. We start with Jenny and Sumit, and let me tell you something. I'm not sure, hey, Raydella, hey, girl, hey. I had an amazing conversation with Raydella last night. We talked for hours, and we were just talking about, like, when your parents are aging and, like, you can't rush them, and they have specific things that they want to do a specific way. They're stuck in their ways, and, you can spend 3 hours in a grocery store, and that's just what it is, right? So after that, I was thinking about Jenny, and Jenny, she's getting up there. She's 67. And I feel like she might be stuck in her ways, and that's why she doesn't want to do any of the things. Like, I feel like Jenny and she was not always like this, you guys. Like, yeah, she didn't cook, she didn't clean, but she would, like, what would she do? She'd be funny. She'd be funny. Now she's just like, I don't want to learn anything new. And one of the things that I thought was interesting before I break down the episode, their segment, was the fact that she's been in India for 6 years, you guys, 6 years, and she doesn't know the language. How is that even possible? And that just goes to tell me that in that stubborn, like, I don't want to learn anything new. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go for walks. I don't want to go to the market. I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean. I don't want to live with your parents. I don't want to babysit. I don't want to travel. I don't like, what is it that you want to do? Because I know that you like, get up, have a cup of coffee, and sit in the bed all day. But, like, you know what they say, right, Abby? When you retire, because your body is so used to the live chat is distracting me right now. Hey, I was just talking about you, but you know how when you retire, your body's so used to, like, going that you're supposed to continue to go in different ways, right? So if you're not working, like, maybe you, like, go for walks, or maybe you, like, crochet, or maybe you play bridge, or maybe you travel, whatever it is, but you keep going. If you just want to, like, sit on your bed or on your couch all day, that it's not a good look. And that's how people don't survive.
It's bad for you mentally. It's also bad for your body. I learned the day before yesterday that going upstairs is good for you, because it's how, like, that shock in the bottom of your foot is the message that your bones need to continue producing collagen. So, like, you're supposed to intentionally stomp when you go up the steps to keep your bone density at a good rate, which is especially important for those of us who are susceptible to osteoporosis.
There you go.
So yeah, like, not moving your body is big. And beyond her just, like, general kind of negative vibe about doing new things and not learning the language, I am just concerned about her quality of life.
I mean, I just don't know. I think that I don't know. She just seems very, like you said, she's just very negative all of a sudden. I don't know where it's coming from. So they've been living at the family house for a couple of weeks now, and she can't stand it. She can't stand the fact that they can't afford to live on their own, but she can't stand the fact that she's living under Sumit's mom and dad's home. And she feels like nothing works at the house. Everything sucks. She's talking about like the shower and the washrooms. And, I didn't know Jenny was like a little bit of a lush, because this is like the third time she's talked about alcohol and like Sumit's mom finding her alcohol and throwing it out. And now she's like, has alcohol that she hides and drinks in the room. You guys, like, I don't know about you, but that just sounds like you might have a problem. And so those are her concerns. And she's mad that there's no room for her stuff. She's used to having an apartment, and now she doesn't have enough room for all her stuff. But I'm like, what stuff? Like, what is it that your clothes? Because even with your clothes, you don't do anything. So how many outfits do you really need? She feels like it's a big mistake for them to have moved into the family. She's not happy. She's frustrated. And she's frustrated with a couple of things. She's frustrated with the apartment that they're living in, and also having to work at the cafe. She's stressed out. She talks about how Sumit and her used to be intimate 3 times a week, which for 67, girl, get it. Get it. I didn't believe it, but get it. And now there's nothing. And she's saying that their intimate life is done. And she can't handle his mom. And she's mad again 15 years later that Sumit is not standing up to his mom. She finds it disrespectful, but like, hello? What are you mad at exactly? Because he's never stood up to his mom. This has been the whole issue for you guys to even get married. So why are we backtracking? Abby, why are we backtracking?
I don't know. I mean, one of the first things I need you to explain to me, and actually Faisy has a good potential suggestion. Maybe she is in withdrawal from her lush consumption,
Jenny wanted a caregiver, Sumit wanted a mommy.
Okay, here's my look, you're on fire tonight. My first question for you is, why does Sumit, in the face of what they're dealing with in this house, does he still prefer to live at home? This is not like a money issue. Like, obviously, like, they ran out of money, they needed to move back. But this was his dream situation to begin with, was to be living in that home.
Abby, we talked about this though in a lot of
I think I still don't get it.
Okay, I'm not sure what you don't get though, because we've talked about this multiple times. In a lot of cultures, multi-generational homes, it is the standard and the norm. And oftentimes what you get from the parents is like caregiving and daycare and cooking and cleaning, and the parents get like activities that keep them active because the children are running around the house. It's mutually beneficial usually. The problem with Jenny and Sadhna is that they're both jockeying for position, right? They both want to be the center of Sumit's attention. And that's different than just having a regular multi-generational household. That's the problems. Sadhna is like, this is my house, my rules, I'm in control. I want to do all the things, and I want to tell everyone what to do. That's a separate issue than, hey, we're all living under one household and we're saving money, we're doing a business together, and we're all going to be mutually beneficial. There are 2 separate issues going on here. And so Sumit wants the multi-generational benefits, but he has a mom that is like, no, it's going to be more about what I want to do and what I want everyone to do for me. Phasies is on a roll today. Sumit went back home because Jenny was not meeting his needs. Her spaghetti was not cutting it. He wanted a clean house, cooked authentic meals. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, he does get to not have to do any housework because that becomes the job of the daughters-in-law. I guess if you're a man, it just seems like all of the complaining would take the fun out of it for me. But I guess if you're a man, it's beneficial.
I mean, I think that Jenny, I mean, here's how I feel. Even if Jenny had her own place, like, you're gonna have to cook at some point. Like, you're not eating out all the time. You're gonna have to clean because are you hiring a maid in India? Like, I don't think that that's the thing. So, like, it seems to me like she just doesn't want to do anything, and then she's mad now because she has eyes on her. And you know, when you're like lazy, like when you have your own spot, you could do whatever. If you have the dishes in your sink and no one sees it for a day or two, that's on you. That's on you, right? But you can't do that when there are multiple people. Like, why are your dishes still in the sink? Why are you still in bed at 2:00? Why haven't you done anything? Why haven't you bathed? Why haven't you gone for a walk? Why are you still in the bed? Why are you drinking in your room? Like, I think that she's mad because there are eyes on the laziness of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
I think that's what it is. She, like she said, she doesn't feel comfortable and everything sucks. And it sucks because she's being held to a standard, and that's not what she wants. She thought she was just going to kick it. And like Fazee said, she thought she was going to get a caregiver, and, you know, her husband doesn't ever want to work. And so she has her pension. He's not working. Guess what? You can't have two lazy people think a household is gonna run. Like, what?
Oh, goodness. I have another question for you, but we need to go on with the recap.
Sadness complaining that Jenny doesn't do anything, and when she does something, she doesn't like how Jenny does it. And what I thought was interesting, it was some type of holiday in India, you guys. And so they closed the cafe. And I was like, for a new business, your cafe should be open because everyone else is off. That means how you guys went to the park and all that stuff, they're going to do that. And then they're going to stop and get, like, I guess I don't know how y'all run your business, but I'll tell you that holidays, you should be open. That's when everyone else is off and are going to want to eat and drink. Like, what? But no, cafe's closed. The whole family went to the park to eat, have a picnic, play cricket. We find out, like I continue to say, that Jenny's not into sports. And when Smith says she's not into any type of sports, like physical sports or mental sports where she has to stimulate her mind, you guys, died of laughter. He said, no sports, no cricket, no chess, no reading, like nothing. She doesn't want to stimulate her mind, her body, or her soul. So, like, again, what is it that you want to do, Jenny? You don't want to be active mentally. You don't want to be active physically. You don't want to be active spiritually because you don't want to do yoga. You don't want to walk. You don't want to go to the market. You want to cook. You don't want to clean. You don't want to read. You don't want to play chess. You don't want to play cricket. So, like, what do you want to do? Just sit in the bed and drink coffee in the day and alcohol in the afternoon?
Basically, like Jessica said, she is a true couch potato. She is a true couch. So
wild. So Stan is really actually happy that all the family's together. However, Sumit decides that he's going to confront her and tell her that she's controlling and explain to her that her daughter-in-laws, so both Jenny and Cherie, are not her servants. And the mom freaks out saying, like, you're being rude to me, you're being disrespectful, you're upsetting me, and I can't live with you and Jenny anymore. freaks out. She gets up, walks away. And one of the things I thought was really interesting, Abby, is that finally Amit, his brother, came to his defense and confronted the mom too. And I'm sure he's been holding this in for years, right? Because, you know, the two daughter-in-laws were on the side, right? They didn't get involved. They sat on the side or stood on the side while the two brothers confronted the mom. And we've never seen Amit confront his mother. And he basically said that, you know what? You are controlling and your kids want a little bit of freedom and they want to be able to make their own decisions. But anytime they try to make their own decisions, you make it a big deal and you try to control and you control it and no one can be happy because if you're not in control, we can't be happy. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting to see. We had seen before that Cherie and Sadhna were not on good terms, but we had not seen that the intervening of the brother. So that was interesting. And you saw him kind of like wander around a little bit, walk around a little bit before he decided to say something.
Oh yeah, but he was like, listen, I'm just gonna, he didn't say a lot. That's all he said. Then he walked away and turned his back, right? Like, so he wasn't really like in it, but he was, you know, when like something starts and is about to pop off and then the outlier comes in and it's like, and runs away. That's what it was. He was like, let me just get my little 2 cents in because I've been holding this on for years and years and years, but I don't want to be the instigator. So Sumit continues to confront his mom and she freaks out and she's done. Jenny's done. Everyone's done because, you know, that is the phrase for 90 Day Fiance. What's the phrase? I'm done. And one of the things, Abby, that I thought was super interesting was the fact that, you know, we learned that Jenny's been living in India for 6 years now, you guys. And her point of view is that there's no way in the last 6 years to make Sadhna happy. My point of view, because you guys know I get distracted, is how is it possible, Abby, to live somewhere for 6 years and be immersed in the culture and not know the language?
I mean, my first suspicion is that she is not truly immersed in the culture because we don't ever see her go outside and do things. We don't see her interact with her own friends that she's made there. We don't see her go to the market. We don't see her going to the gym. We don't see her going to do anything that would be immersive. When I got to Mexico, I tried to sign up at a gym. I went to Zumba classes. Like, the people that I worked with all spoke English. So the only way that I was going to get to practice my Spanish was if I signed up to do activities outside of that, if I spoke to my neighbors. If you're not just being in the country is not going to do anything for you if you're not proactively chasing those immersive experiences.
100%. 100%.
So she's not.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So, you know, hauled up with your alcohol and your coffee in your bedroom all day. I mean, you're doing nothing and it's showing. I'm sorry. It's showing. Yeah. It's showing. You're aging more because you aren't being active. When I was moving to live in Montreal, before I moved, even though I was in French, like new French from school, I was watching everything in French. And when I landed there, everyone spoke French and English, but I was like, make sure you only speak French to me. Everywhere I went, I was immersed in it, and that was it. And forcing myself so that I could be better because, you know, Quebecois is different than what you learn in school, which is a whole other conversation. So I'm just saying 6 years is a long time. It's a long time to not even, because we don't even see her try. Like, we're going to talk about Luke next. At least Luke has been trying and he understands verbally, which is a funny thing because oftentimes you can understand better than you can speak it. And I think it's because you start doubting yourself when you start talking, but you can understand. And it's clear to me that Luke can understand and he gives an effort in trying to speak the language. And so does Madeline and her family. But Jenny, like have you ever even heard Jenny try to speak even a little bit?
Just a little bit when they were in that yoga class. It was just like a word.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go
Yeah.
back to
It wasn't like something that stood out a whole lot because it wasn't so much. So I have a complaint and then I have a question for you. My complaint is that although Sumit and his brother are speaking up for their wives, that Sadhna is, kind of aggressive with her daughters-in-law, they don't offer to help do the housework instead. They don't offer to lighten the load of the work that needs to be done in the house. So like, that's my first complaint. Like, you're content with your wife having all this work to do, but you just don't want your mom to yell at her about how she's doing that work. So that's my complaint. My question is, I remember Sadhna said before that when she was a daughter-in-law, that she had to listen and obey. So do you think that a part of what she's upset about is like this idea that I suffered and I went through this, and so why shouldn't you also have to cater to me? Like, this is what I earned from my suffering, that you have to cater to me and do things the way I want you to.
You're saying the daughter-in-law is feeling that way?
Sadhna, do you think that when she said before that when she was a daughter-in-law and she went to live with her husband's family, that she had to do all the housework and cook all the food, and she had to learn how to do that, and so Jenny should have to learn how to do it too?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get that vibe from her that she's jealous or upset with Jenny because Jenny hasn't learned all those things. I think that she just is tired of doing it for herself, and she wants to stand up, but she's also not stuck in the culture. She abides by the culture, right? And so she may have thought that Jenny, being an American was going to switch it up, but Jenny's doing Jenny, and Jenny's like, sorry, Jenny, but you're lazy. You're like so lazy. It's weird. I don't get it. Faizi says, my theory, the reason why Jenny stays in India is she's running from debt in the US. She will never return. Wow. And Jessica says, the other daughter-in-law just happens to be a better housewife. By 6 years, I think I would have learned so much about what I was expected to do. Facts. I mean, it's a long time. 6 years is a long time. So, do you want to add anything else before we move on to Madeline and Luke?
Let's get into Madeline and Luke.
Madeline's meeting Luke's dad for the first time, and she's nervous about it, and it's pre-wedding. Y'all, they're getting married the next day. One day, tomorrow, the next day. They're getting married the next day. They're getting married. I just don't understand. How many times am I going to tell you guys, everywhere your problems are, there you are. If you don't address and fix your problems, you think getting married is going to just be like, poof, no more problems? I don't get it. Hey, Hilda. Hey, girl. Hey, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then you're just gonna like get annulled or divorced, and like you're paying money for a wedding, you're paying money for the dress, you're paying money for the food, you're paying money for the drinks, then you're gonna be paying money for the divorce or the annulment. Like, why? Why not just address your issues? Yesterday, you guys thought you were pregnant and were freaking out. The day before, you guys were fighting about property. The day before, you guys were fighting about strippers. Like, very confusing.
Very confusing.
Very.
But
confusing.
What fantastic energy did Luke's dad bring with him off the plane?
Listen, I'm not mad at Luke's dad. I'm not mad at this whole situation because it was exactly what it was supposed to do. So, wedding's tomorrow. She's nervous to meet Jim, the dad. Jim pops up from nowhere and is already talking smack. He's like, "Hey, Mrs. Barry, ready to sign some checks? Have you practiced your signature?" Arrived. He's arrived. So Luke, he wants his dad's approval and love and attention. So he wants to show his dad the property that he bought. He also wants his dad's advice because, his dad has been a successful businessman. His dad has funded him because up until this point, Madeline doesn't know that Luke is like broke. Right. And the monies that he's gotten, it's from his dad, not from any of his businesses, because all of his businesses thus far have been flopped, right? Like no money. And he continued to pour into them and continued to get himself in debt. That being said, he shows his dad the property and he's talking about how they're going to construct the roads here and the hotel's going to be here. The land is massive. The dad loves it. Luke pulls out the design to show like, hey, this is what I've done. And then the dad is very realistic. He's like, how much is the hotel going to cost? How much are the cabins going to cost? How much is the power? What about water? And Luke has no answers. And then he says, Abby, when we finish the plans, we'll find that out. Okay. From like creator, entrepreneur to lawyer. Okay. Business 101. How do you not, if you even don't have a business plan, right? How do you not have a financial breakdown? How do you say, okay, I'm investing, let's say you're investing $1 million, right? How do you not know where that $1 million is going to, especially if you have investors? I don't understand. So you're going to who are you relying on to tell you how much the power and water is going to cost? And the cabins outside of the hotel, as well as staffing, permits. Like how do you not know? And you're going to finish the plans and then be like, oh, I don't have enough money. And that's why your businesses fail. Like how do you not have a business plan? How do you not have a financial breakdown?
Exactly. He's showing us exactly why his businesses have not been successful so far. He doesn't really have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And you guys remember, Luke actually had a very lucrative full-time job, but he's chasing this dream of being an entrepreneur and keeps putting money that he saved in his lucrative full-time job when he had it, keeps throwing that money to the wind on these businesses. The only success he's had so far are the businesses that Madeline was running.
When he's like, I don't know, we'll find out after. Okay.
That's horrible business.
That's how you get scammed, because I'll tell you this, like, it wouldn't be me because I am an upright, decent person, but like, I could see how, someone's building the cabins and you're like, well, how much is that going to be after you've already constructed the hotel? Well, you need these cabins, so it's going to be $1 million. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Everyone's not meant to be an entrepreneur, and that's okay. Like I said today on a video I made on Instagram, you guys don't forget to follow us on Instagram and like and subscribe, that one of my pieces of advice for opening your own law firm is not to get a credit card. Don't run on credit, run on cash. And somebody wanted to argue with me about it on TikTok, and I just deleted their comment. Because, like, why are you trying to tell me that you can't operate a business unless you have credit? And I'm not even an entrepreneur because I wanted to be. I call myself a reluctant entrepreneur. But if you can run your business in cash, then why not do that? Why pay extra fees for a credit card? What do I know?
I mean, what I know is that you should have a business plan and you should know what the costs are before you go into anything. And you shouldn't, if you have a big, and I'm about being creative, I'm about entrepreneurship, but like also do the work, right? Like you can't just be like, hey, this is what I'm going to do and rely on everyone else to tell you how it should and shouldn't be, because how do you know how it should and shouldn't be if you haven't done the research? Like you can't be a lazy entrepreneur. I think that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So the dad tells him to be careful. And tells him, you know what, you have to be serious because you're not a millionaire. You don't have money like that to just be spending, which is what I just said as well. And then the dad goes to camera, straight to camera, and says, Luke doesn't look at the whole picture, which is in essence what Abby and I are both saying. Like, how, what, what? And then you have the audacity to talk crazy to Madeline about not putting her name on the deed. Girl, listen, girl. You're probably, God is blessing you right now. You probably don't want to be on the deed because this is going to be a hot mess. You're going to have so much debt because this fool is not going to make this be up and running. So maybe God is saying, hey, you don't want your name on the nonsense. Because I already know, fast forward, spoiler alert, the salon that she had has closed down, right? Bad reviews, all the things is closed down. So maybe, you know, count your blessings. Maybe just get the one plot that you guys were going to build your house on and keep the house. I just want to say something. Some of the people in the chat, like, they're clearly not TMW online regulars. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, you know what I heard today? What was it? I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember exactly. But like, if you're full of hate as a grown ass adult, just maybe take some time and reflect in on what is it that is bothering you. Do you know, if people are living their happy lives and you want to come online or in person and like troll and be mean and bully and all the things, that's something that hurts you within. And as a grown adult, because you're not in high school anymore and you're not in university, maybe you should take a time out, go to therapy, maybe go to the beach, maybe read a book, maybe touch your toes in some grass. But whatever it is, don't spew your hate on everyone else, because we're all living life. You don't know what the next person's dealing with, but you want to spew. Is it because you need attention? If you need attention, say that. I will give you attention. And cup of tea, here's your attention. Know that you're loved, even though you want to spread hate, you're loved. And whatever it is that you need, if I can help you, I will. I will. Anyone that knows me, you'll know that I will help you. So if you're unhappy in your life, please like message me and let me see what I can do for you, because all of this is unnecessary. It just is. One love. Back to Madeline and Luke. One of the things that I loved was the fact that, okay, so there's a lot going on here. So where should I go? That Jim is like very, very direct, right? So they are going to have a family dinner. I love the fact that Madeline was teaching her family English. You know, nice to meet you, mucho gusto, nice to meet you. And the reverse, right? Where Luke's dad came in and Luke was speaking Spanish to them, and even the dad was speaking Spanish. So I love the respect there. And even though there was a language barrier, I love the fact that they were all trying.
Yes.
That being said, the dad was like, you know, Madeline wants to be included in the property. And he thinks that Madeline is dominating his son. And when he said that you had a vajayjay and some gusto, I was like, oh, okay, Jim. By any means necessary. Jim wants to protect his son. And it's going to approach and confront Madeline and say, basically, business is business, eat it, and this is what it is. He doesn't want her on the title, and he feels like it's his son's business. And, what are your thoughts on that, Abby?
This is one of those situations that because someone has a charismatic personality, that I think people will tend to overlook when that person is overstepping or wrong. But him talking to Madeline about the business is just as much as an overstep as Molly talking to Sheena about her money or their sex life. It's easy to be like, oh, he's such a character. He came in with all this great energy, but that's none of your business either. And he also doesn't know all the information. He doesn't know that Madeline doesn't know that his son is broke. So given that you actually don't have all the information and it's not your business, he shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that he thinks he's protecting his son, but also Luke needs to learn his own lessons, right? Like, you keep putting the safety net underneath him and he keeps getting saved from all of his mistakes. So one of the things I did love about Luke in this moment was that his understanding of Spanish was good, and the way that, again, both families were really respecting each other's cultures and trying, unlike what we see with Jenny and Sumit. I just thought that was a beautiful thing. Jim goes on to say that Madeline is lovely, but she's controlling, and he wants to talk to her about the stripper fest, about throwing cake in Luke's face. And he again says that he wants to protect his son, and he addresses her and tells her these things and says, it was a poop show for these last few weeks that Luke has been here, and asks her directly, is this really what you want? Do you really want to marry my son? And one of the things that I've talked to you guys about in the past, and I'm going to mention it again, is, in a relationship, it should be the two of you, and the two of you should be dealing with your issues. When you bring your couple issues outside of your relationship, other people absolutely are going to have an opinion, and that's fine if that's what you think you need. If you need a third party to be the intermediary and figure it out for you, but don't forget that they're not going to forget. So when you tomorrow have made up and have forgotten about all the things, that third party has not forgotten. And I personally think that Luke should not have told his dad about the strippers, should not have told his dad about the cake in the face. He should have directly talked to Madeline about it. They addressed their issue, get past it or not. But when you start talking to your best friend and your mom and your dad and everyone gets in it, and then they decide that they're going to confront the person on it, that's not right. That's not right. Like, what part is sacred in this in the relationship?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying if you're in a toxic relationship that you shouldn't talk about it. Talk about that, report that, get restraining orders, leave that person. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your little squabbles. Okay? Because cake in the face, yeah, that's terrible. But that's on you, Madeline. But Luke shouldn't have been a baby about it and went and told his dad because, the backstory. Right? What are your thoughts, Abby?
Exactly. I agree with you. I mean, if he was preparing his dad for things that he might see if he watched the show, maybe I understand that. But in general, I absolutely 100% agree with you.
Yep. 2 in your relationship. That's it. Anything else you want to add before we move on to Manon and Anthony?
Let's go to Manon and Anthony.
Overall thoughts of their segment. I'd like for you to go first.
I appreciate that we're getting some insight into why Manon feels to be like a little bit money hungry sometimes. So it was nice to get some insight into her background on that. But I also think she's not said this. Maybe I'll ask her one day because she has been nice enough to message with me here and there. I don't think that motherhood is as important to her as it is to other people or society. And I think it's okay for her to admit that. I think for some reason she doesn't want to admit that all of her satisfaction and fulfillment does not come from motherhood in the way that it may fulfill other people. And I feel like if she could just go ahead and admit that and know that it's okay to feel that way, she wouldn't find herself in this conundrum. It's like the same way that some people don't enjoy food the way that I do. I woke up at 5:40 a.m. thinking about an Applebee's riblet basket with fries.
A who?
Applebee's riblet basket with fries. Everyone is not fulfilled by food in the same way that I am.
Okay, but what is that? A riblet basket? What is
Literally, they serve it in a little basket and you get like 3 ribs and fries. It's like a lunch portion of goodness. Okay? That's what I was thinking about early this morning. Some people wake up thinking about cutting their kids' pancakes into animal sizes so they can have a good breakfast for their kids. Some people wake up thinking about like a melody they had in their mind and they want to get up and grab their guitar and play it out. Linda probably wakes up thinking about all kinds of like creative ideas that I want to put on paper, and I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to sing a song, and I'm going to do an interview. Everyone has different things that move us. They don't have to be the same. Manon, motherhood's not your riblet basket, and that's okay.
Can I just tell you how funny this is? Because just before we went to air on the show, I was having a heated discussion with someone, and they mentioned Applebee's. And
what?
Yeah, they mentioned Applebee's. I'm not going to give you guys the context, but they mentioned Applebee's, and I was like, I've never been to Applebee's. I don't think I've never been to Applebee's. I've seen the Applebee's like green and red apple commercial, but I've never been to it. So it's funny that it's coming up for a second time today. And then what do you say? Riblets basket?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like mini ribs and fries?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look it up because
now listen, I'm not saying you must go to Applebee's. Okay. If you decide to go, don't be like, oh, this is some like spectacular cuisine you're expecting. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is I woke up thinking about food.
Jessica says Linda does affirmations in the mirror. I actually don't, but I do pray every morning before, and I pray like all day, but in the morning before I get started and talk crazy on Instagram and all the things, I do pray. So if that's similar to affirmations in the mirror, probably. And she goes on to say, I love Applebee's chicken wonton tacos.
Listen, let me tell you something. Applebee's happy hour cannot be beat. Okay? Applebee's, I've had an opportunity to eat at some really nice places in my lifetime. Applebee's happy hour will always put
So
me
what
in
is it? Is it chicken in a wonton shell that's shaped like a taco? Abby?
Yes.
You guys are ridiculous. I'll have to look it up myself. That is amazing because I love, first of all, I love dim sum. So give me a wonton any day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look it up, and I'll have to. I don't know if we have. Okay, I'll look it up. You guys. Okay, so back to Manon and Anthony. I think everything that you just said is true. I think that I think Manon is a mom, but I don't think that was her first choice. And even though since they moved to France, she's been getting closer to Ben. The question in her mind is her career dreams versus being a mom. And she literally said in this episode that she can't be a stay-at-home mom doing quote unquote nothing. And I thought that says a lot about how she feels about stay-at-home moms. So she thinks that if you're a stay-at-home mom, that you do nothing. versus if you're a career woman and you're out there making money, then you're doing something. Now, I don't agree with her. Okay, I don't agree with her. And I'm going to say this. I think that not everyone's meant to be a mom. And I'm not saying that Manon is not supposed to be a mom, but it's clear that this is not on her bingo card. She happenstance, this is what happened. However, I do think for her to say she can't stay at home doing nothing, shows how she feels about her mom, because we find out a little bit later in their segment that her mom was a stay-at-home mom and they struggled with a one-income household, right? So I think that's the backstory for her. However, it also has shaped what she thinks about stay-at-home moms. Now, first I'm going to talk about single moms who raise their children 24/7 as well as work 24/7. That's a lot. They do everything for their children and they do everything to provide. So for you to say that they do nothing is wild. Now, a stay-at-home mom, so you have two parents in the house and one of the parents works full-time while the other one stays at home. Staying at home, keeping the roof over the head, cooking, cleaning, driving your child to and fro and to and fro. When I say it's a lot, especially if you have multiple children and they have basketball and baseball and after school activities and play dates and tutoring and this and that and clothes shopping and food shopping and all the things. There's only 24 hours in a day. So for the stay-at-home mom is actually not staying at home. She's on the road a lot. And so if you don't respect that and you don't think that that's a job in and of itself, then shame on you, Manon. Third thing I want to say is that perhaps part of your animosity and lack of respect for stay-at-home moms is the fact that you don't respect your husband because your husband is a stay-at-home dad. And you don't respect your mom because your mom was a stay-at-home mom. And you equate staying at home to lacking less money. So you now have hyper extended yourself to be a provider, and being a provider to you means a successful business, entrepreneur, money maker, all the things outside of the home. And I just challenge you to think about, you might be great. You might be super successful outside of the home, but I'm going to challenge you to try to be super successful inside the home, right? Because, and I've said this, we're on episode 17. I've said it since like episode 4, where I was on your team. I was like, oh my gosh, she's empowering women. She's this, she's that, she's this. But then the way you start talking to people and talking down to people, especially your husband, and dealing with all the stuff with your family, and I know they've been terrible to you, but you've also not rectified that in your own right, because the way you lash out, maybe take a minute to treat your family the way you treat your business. You treat your business better because you respect your colleagues. You don't respect your family, not even your husband and not even your child. That's it.
She's actually gone too far the wrong way. This is actually a problem that I see with a lot of feminists that happen, is that if in your rejection of being a traditional housewife and moving to the other side of the spectrum, instead of seeing both as an equal choice, you start seeing one as a better choice than the other. And really what you're supposed to be fighting for as a feminist is that everyone has the right to choose if they go here or if they go here. Not that one is better than the other. You're supposed to be working on equality, but that calibration, it can sometimes take a little while, especially if you have other pressures that are coming with it. So she's got this societal pressure to be a certain kind of mom because she's had a kid, and then she's got this internal pressure to move away from traditional wife stuff and be a businesswoman. So just, Manon, in your thought process, you just have to recalibrate all the things that both perspectives can bring to the household. And it's the same thing that we see with a lot of men, actually, too. A lot of men devalue the work and organization that goes on with a stay-at-home mom. So she's transitioned herself. Instead of being a woman business owner, she's adopted the attitude of a male a patriarchal business structure instead of creating your own. You don't have to adopt their model of business. You can create your own model of business that allows for all things to be equal, right? Said a
Yes.
lot.
You and I.
then there's
Go ahead.
and in the organizing, there's a lot of things that we accidentally overlook. Hey, Joslo, because I remember one time we were getting on a plane. My son has been privileged to travel with me a lot of places. We were getting on a flight one time and he said, "Oh, yes, another window seat." And I said, "Oh, wait, do you think that the airline is giving you a window seat?" No, I organize that. I suffer in the middle seat so that you can have a window seat. And like for me, that's such a good example of the ways in which being a mom gets overlooked. Like the things that you organize for your family get overlooked in that way. Because unless he said that out loud, unless I replied to it, he would have continued just thinking, "Oh, I just randomly always get these fantastic window seats. Not my mom is suffering in the middle seat for me."
We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But Abby's just saying it nicer. I'm just being Linda the direct. I don't know any other way to say it, but being direct.
You're not being mean. You're not being mean.
I didn't say mean. I said direct.
Yeah.
Let me be clear, y'all. Okay? Because I've heard that before. Being direct and being mean are completely different things. I just don't pussyfoot around. I say it how I see it, but I don't say it with an attitude or unless I have an attitude, because it's true what Abby said a couple episodes back. Like, if I don't like you, I'm not going to believe you. And so it's going to take a little bit extra. And I might have like a raised eyebrow. Like, what did you just say? Like, what? But besides that, I just say it directly. And in this situation, Manon does not respect stay-at-home anyone's moms, dads, partners, whatever. She doesn't respect it. She respects money. And the fact that she can bring money in, that's how she validates that she is a successful individual. And all I'm saying, and I think this is what you're saying as well, Abby, is that maybe reevaluate the fact that you think being outside in the patriarchal society, making money is the only way that you are a great individual, because we all can contribute differently. Your son wouldn't be the beautiful, loving child that he is had not Anthony been there day in and day out and created this individual. So I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
work. Yes, we want the financial benefits, but there are other ways that people work. That's why also people volunteer. You know, when you're volunteering, you're working, you're giving back to society. You're not getting paid, but you're getting paid in different ways. You're getting paid, you're rewarding your spirit, your mind, your soul. You're blessing other people's, and your blessing is going to come from somewhere else. Maybe you went on a lotto ticket. Maybe someone picks you up and drops you off for work because you don't have a car. Whatever it is, it all balances out. So I don't want to diminish the fact that you think that being a stay-at-home whatever is less than. I just don't agree with that. And that's it. So Manon feels conflicted. And she feels conflicted because she wants to get closer to Ben, but she also is looking at her mom, and her mom being a stay-at-home mom. They always needed money. The dad was never there. And so she was raised that way, which has shaped who she is today. And she literally says she has anxiety around money. And that's why she focuses on it. And growing up, it was never enough. They lacked. And she doesn't, quote unquote, want that for Ben. That's why she wants to make money. And she feels like Anthony is like her mom, which is what I just said. And she doesn't respect her mom. She doesn't get along with her mom. She doesn't get along with her dad either. Separate reasons. But throw Anthony into the mix, it goes back to what I just said earlier, where she doesn't respect them. She doesn't respect her husband. And that's why she talks down to him. Full circle. Thank you, therapist Linda. Dr. Linda's in the house. And the mom, Sabrina says, the mom says, you know, it's better to have less money and spend more time with your family. What are your thoughts on that, Abby? Hello?
I don't agree because I mean, like, do I think that you need to be a millionaire? No. But I think that it is stressful to be a child in a family that struggles to provide basic needs. So I disagree with the philosophy of just have the kids and you'll figure it out. You'll figure out how to provide for them. I think that leads to a lot of child abuse and neglect.
What do you guys think in the live chat if you're watching the replay? Is it better to have more money and less time with your family, or less money and more time with your family? Weigh in the chat, weigh in the replay. I'll say that I know what I think, but I don't want to skew anyone's thoughts. So I'll wait till we see some answers before I let you know. But
Okay.
don't be fooled. One of the things we learned from this segment is that she's missed a lot of motherhood and a lot of first times for her son Ben because she's been focused so much on her career. She missed Ben walking for the first time, but she wants to now prioritize her son, but she just doesn't know how she's going to do it. Do you want to add anything else before we move on to Chloe and Johnny?
Let's go, Chloe and Johnny.
Overall thoughts on their segment.
I have the same opinion that I had before.
Which
Chloe,
is?
If you get out of there with a baby, this has all been a fun experience. Get out of there without a baby. No harm, no foul. This is not a long time thing.
Jessica says, for the question of the day, less money, more time. However, money can help with certain endeavors. Fair. Chloe girl. Girl, you are 23 years old. Go out and sow your seeds. Don't get married. Listen to your gut instinct. Your gut is your goddess, is your glory. Listen to it. Your friends are telling you what you don't know because you haven't been there for a year. Your friends are telling you your man ain't shit. And I said it like that because you know what? We're finding out a lot more about this guy, and that little controlling part that came in today, Abby, I was like, oh, absolutely not. You met her. She was exactly who she was. She's 23 years old, and now you're trying to not only control her, but you're also a cheater. Where's the win, Chloe? What are you getting out of this? Board and room and board, and then go and live your life. Because this right here, hot mess. Okay, so friends think that her getting married is a terrible, terrible idea. And she is reminiscing on the fact that her mom has cut her off. And so she's really sacrificed a lot, right? Because she sacrificed being completely funded at 23 years old, not having any responsibilities, living at home, not having any bills, not having anything to pay for, but to like gallivant as she should. If you got it like that, then do it at 23. But she is worried because she doesn't want to throw that lifestyle away on a cheater. And her friends are like, well, do you trust Johnny? She trusts Johnny. And she feels like she's making the right decision by wanting to marry him. And the friends are like, what? Like, he's been not faithful to you. And then she's like, oh, well, since I've been here, what, for the 2 weeks that you live at home, that he's been not at home, that you live with him, that he's been faithful, is because how you follow him to his job and he has to come home to you. So like, what? So they were having, what did they call it? Do you remember?
Meatball night.
Meatball night, which is supposed to just be the girls' night, right? And for them to run amok. But Jonathan has decided that he's going to join them because they're moving to a second location. And he doesn't like that because he doesn't like when she goes out with her friend Maria, which is supposed to be one of her best friends. And 2, he doesn't like her going out and staying out late, which is brand new information for me. So Maria's like, that's a machista, macho, I have the upper hand mentality. But he literally says out loud, out of his mouth, y'all, out of his mouth, that, quote, Chloe can't be going out late all the time. Maybe once or twice a year, but she can't make it a habit. I'm sorry. Who are you talking to? Are you her dad? Or are you her uncle? Are you her supervisor? Like, I'm sorry. Who are you talking to? Abby, do you want to say something before I get into a TED Talk?
I mean, you can go for it. But Maria, hi, friend Maria. Maria clocks him every single time. Just because that's what you're doing, Johnny, doesn't mean that's what everybody else is doing. Go for it, Linda.
I'm going to tell you right now. Okay? I'll make it a short TED Talk. It'll be abbreviated. Women, what we're not about to do is allow a grown-ass man to tell a grown-ass woman when she can and cannot go. I don't care if you have traditional values, this and this and this. How you met them is who they are. So then when you try to change and isolate, that shows me that you have not only a controlling personality, but you have some insecurities that you need to deal with. And to top off the fact that I feel like you're insecure because you're trying to control a 23-year-old while you're cheating, and you're only cheating because you need validation. You need more than one woman to say how great you are because you don't feel great yourself and you know that you ain't shit. So, women, if you want to be in the streets, be in the streets. Own that shit. If you want to be running amok, run amok. I'm just saying, do what you want to do because you're grown. And no man should be telling you what you can and cannot do. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because even if you're like traditional, not a party girl, you're a stay-at-home girl, blah, 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 then be that, but be that for your own reasons. Be that because you've decided that, not because some man has told you that you need to do X, Y, and Z, and you can't wear this, and you can't go there, and you absolutely not. Okay. Thank you for coming to my abbreviated TED Talk. Maria tells Johnny, amen, Tina, amen. Maria tells Johnny that he does questionable things. He's messaged with other girls. He's been cheating in this last year. And she confronts him. And he at first denies it. But then Chloe's like, what are you talking about? I have the messages. You absolutely did. And then he thinks that he could just smile, laugh about it, not say anything, and that Chloe's gonna just like let that go. Maria, her friend, is worried that Johnny hasn't changed because he hasn't. And he acknowledges that he, quote, has messed up a few times. Go ahead, Chloe, and get that free room and board. Go out whenever you want. Call your mama back and say, hey, listen, I'm not about to marry him anymore. I've decided that I wanted to do an extended 6-month stay here before I have to go back. And I will come back to you, moms. Will you please refund me so that I can have a bunch of fun? You can come visit me. We can go to the beach anytime you want, but go ahead and give me that platinum Amex card again, the black card, whatever it is that you want to send me. I won't buy a car, but what I will do is fill my life with a bunch of amazing travel experiences. And then when they come home in 6 months, I will focus on working for your company where you pay me 6 figures, and it's a win-win situation.
Exactly, Chloe.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
That's it. That's a wrap.
Don't tie yourself to a loser. Can you imagine? The mom even offered to bring your loser boyfriend over and hire him and pay. What are you getting out of it? What's the benefit of this relationship for you?
Nothing. Go ahead and leave him.
Love is not enough. And you know what? You don't even love him. You love the vacay bae that you've come and had great times with and flipped over the pirate ship with. When you're 30, Chloe, having a pirate boyfriend is not going to be cute to you. And a broke pirate boyfriend at 30 is absolutely not going to be entertaining to you. That's it.
I mean, and what a loser. Like, why can't you, like, for Johnny, like, why can't you act right? Like, what a loser to have something on the line where you could have access to this family that you said you were excited about since you lost your mom, have access to Chloe, have access to whatever funds you need for your life, that you can't act right, that you have no self-control. What a loser.
On that note, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know your overall thoughts on this episode. If you're watching the replay, the comments were popping for our last episode on Friday. Keep that coming. We love interacting with you. We will see you again on Friday. Joslo, Friday. Will you be here? Friday. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.